What I enjoyed was the Patiently Wait performance. That was amazing. I loved it. I was even dancing. I was like, I can patiently wait.
One of the things that stuck out for me the most was in a relationship, to make sure you prioritize right. And there was 3 steps.
When one of the hosts was saying that he did to his wife the silent treatment, I usually do that to my mom, because me and my mom had many issues. So I used that into my mom's relationship.
So I had my husband on my, I came with my husband, who was on my right, and I came with my friend who, introduced me to the love school.
Some strange lady. Honestly, she was very loud. I think she was very elderly as well. So I remember it was just, when I went out to go cheering, she would just be there like, she would look at me with a screw face.
My husband, of course.
I'm mostly looking forward to, obviously, the performances, but obviously hearing more, because there's always new things that we need to learn, and I want to learn more. I want to understand my partner more, what I can do to be even better.
Finding out something new that I can apply. Something that when I do get into, when it is that time, something that I can, just remember, and then apply it.
I'm looking forward to next year to extend and expand on my knowledge and the size of the event, because last year was big, so I can imagine how this year's going to be.
Hello, a very good evening. Welcome to Finding Answers. Few things in life are better than being at peace with everybody. It's great being at peace with everyone because you don't have to cross the road to the other side when you see the person coming. You don't have to avoid people's calls. It's great. There are people who tell me I don't answer calls from withheld numbers because it might just be one of those people I don't want to talk to. And when you don't hold grudges to anyone, it's great because you don't need to do any of that. You're at peace with the world, and most importantly, you're at peace with yourself. That's right, because believe it or not, sometimes holding a grudge, hating someone can be worse for you than it is for that person. That's what my colleague and co-presenter Victoria found out. Good evening, Victoria.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
So what did you find out about grudges, hatred in general? What did you find out about this?
Well, it can actually be not only psychologically damaging to hold a grudge against somebody, but also physiologically. A psychologist did a study including 10,000 people and asked them, say true or false to this question, do you regularly hold grudges? And those people who said true to that one were much more likely to have heart disease, high blood pressure, back pain, and it's a bit morbid, to die earlier actually.
But that makes sense, because when you have a grudge against someone or you hate someone, just the moment you think about that person, your heart starts beating faster, you start getting anxious and angry, right?
You really do replay whatever it was that happened in your head over and over again. And psychologists have also found that you will replay it more vividly and worse than what actually happened to begin with.
Yeah, and the thing is that with this, it's not a matter of time will make it go away, because when a person usually holds on to a grudge, it actually gets worse as the time goes by. For some reason, it's like the person feeds that feeling, and it gets a lot worse. I've actually heard of people that the person they used to hate actually died, and still they continued hating that person.
Really? Gosh. Yes, you really do need to, if you want to let go of the grudge, you've really got to think about it. And obviously there's a difference between forgiving and forgetting, but that's a whole new story.
And that's the thing, I think forgetting, if someone really hurt you, it's virtually impossible for you to forget that. And no one is asking you to forget something that was done to you, but it's intelligent for you to forgive, right? There have been people that have hurt me in the past, and I've forgiven them, haven't forgotten what happened, but I can have a conversation with them, I can talk to them, and it's not a problem. And actually when you do that, you're doing yourself a whole lot of good. Believe it or not, you are the main beneficiary if you choose to forgive someone. And you know what's silly? Is that usually, Victoria, people, when they look back and think why they have a grudge, hatred against someone, sometimes it's something really silly that only when it's like this. In my mind, it sounds horrible what this person did to me. But then when I say it out to someone, it sounds so petty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then what you will do is you will bring all the things that they've done beforehand that didn't actually upset you. You bring that to the table as well, and then you've got a huge amount of things that you're going to hold a grudge against, but actually it could have just been a very, very simple thing to begin with.
And there are people who keep a log, right? You know, I have the 13 or 14 times this person said something bad against me. I've got them all registered here just in case this person comes to me, I can read them all out to this person. And you know what? You may miss out on a lot because of these grudges. How many times I've heard stories of family members who stopped speaking to each other, and because of that, you're missing out on perhaps your grandson growing up. I remember, look how sad this story is. In my own family, I remember, just a very short story, but this is very interesting. My dad had a construction company with my uncle, and they built this 4-story building, and then they sold the houses, and my dad bought the apartment on the 2nd floor, my uncle on the ground floor. And they had a dispute about the company, so they parted ways. And I think for something like 10 years, we lived in the same building without talking to each other. Can you believe that? And every day we would cross, I was about maybe, I don't know, 7, 8 till about 14, maybe even older than that. And I would see my cousin who was about my age. We had no clue what was going on, so we would be happy talking to each other. But my parents and her parents, for about 10 years, they wouldn't talk to each other. Every day they would cross each other's path. How silly was that? And you know, it only makes sense for you to forgive. I want you to have a look at this video when we come back. Today we're going to talk to you how you can forgive someone, how you can move on from a grudge, how you can start living again. Because like Victoria said, you know, this grudges and hatred can even be linked to heart disease.
Heart disease, yeah, heart attacks, high blood pressure.
Even back pain, you said.
But yeah, chronic back pain, yeah.
My gosh, I didn't know even back pain could be the cause for that could be, or a factor could be the grudges. Have a look at this video. When we come back, we're going to tell you how you can contact us and how we'll be explaining to you during the program how you can overcome this problem.
The psychological act of hanging on to hate, resentment and anger is referred to as bearing a grudge. Grudges, like all things that trigger stress, eventually cause destruction on our bodies as well as on our minds. The inability to release anger affects us both physically and emotionally. Emotions that you may feel when you hold a grudge can include anxiety, self-doubt, confusion, depression, an inability to concentrate, sadness, hopelessness, and many more emotions that can affect your everyday life. It has also been suggested that willingness to forgive is associated with lower blood pressure, a lower heart rate, and a reduced workload for the heart muscle. When you let go of a grudge, you make yourself responsible for your own happiness. Your happiness is no longer in the hands of the person that hurt you. Holding on to a grudge can take more energy than letting it go. By holding on to grudges, you're constantly running negative experiences through your mind over and over again. You may even replay the experience more vividly than when it actually happened. Forgiveness is a prominent concept in contemporary psychology. There is a general agreement that forgiveness is good. To forgive someone promotes relief, as feelings of resentment and negative memories can be forgotten. The act of forgiveness is something that everyone can learn, although it can take time. The first step is to understand what forgiveness really means. Forgiveness is giving up resentment and desire to punish. This doesn't mean you have to condone what was done to you or forget that it happened. You need to practice acceptance. While you can't change the past, you can decide to relegate the event to history by accepting that it's happened and releasing your resentment.
Hello and welcome back to Finding Answers. This evening we're talking about grudges. So if you have any comments or you have some questions for our guests, then please send us a tweet. The address is @FindAnswersTV, or you can find us on Facebook and like our page, and then you can comment on anything that we say, or you can give us a ring on 020 7686 6300, or send us an email and we'll read that out live on air at help@findinganswers.tv.
That's right. And the two guests we have on tonight, they actually had this problem of grudges, and it broke their families apart. But you'll see how they overcame that. And if you want to ask any questions, like Victoria said, you can ask questions live to our guest here. And by the way, from tonight, every day for the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a feature called Love Answers, where we're going to have your questions on love life read out and answered here on this show. So look out for that feature later on today as well. We're going to go into a short break. When we come back, we'll be meeting our guests and see how they overcame the effects of grudges in their families. We'll be right back.
People are familiar with the concept, you gotta love somebody, you fall in love with someone. Yes, but people are not learning that there are certain rules that if you don't follow in love, you will kill that love.
It was amazing, it was great. I really enjoyed it.
It's beneficial to everyone. Amazing atmosphere here today. BYT Love School!
This is your UCKG timetable. We are open 7 days a week, helping you to make a new beginning. Mondays, a meeting focused on achieving more in your financial life. Tuesdays, prayers for healing. Wednesdays, a meeting teaching you to develop in your spiritual life. Thursdays, a special prayer for the family. Friday, a service for your spiritual deliverance. Saturdays, Find the One, a service specifically tailored for your love life. Sundays, Reconnect with God, the main meeting for your spiritual strength.
The phone lines are open, 020-7686-6300. If you want to speak to us live on air, if you say, James, I've had this grudge, I've had this hatred for years, and I can't let go of this. I know it's killing me. I'm missing out on my family being together. I can't go to family gatherings. I can't be with people that I used to love. I don't love anymore, but I want to learn to love them again. You can contact us, or, like Victoria said, via the Facebook page, Twitter, or help@findinganswers.tv. Now, I want to introduce to you in a moment Nita and Daljit, who are here with us, and they're going to tell us how grudges and hatred destroyed their families, but they managed to learn how to bring them back again. Let's go and meet them now.
push me for the rest of the week. So it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
So let's talk to Daljit first of all. How are you, Daljit?
I'm fine, thank you.
So what happened? I mean, you had a grudge towards some people in your family?
Yes, I did. It was due to some family issues, and it started from there.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't happy with my family, and I took life as it was like it's normal, but it wasn't. Inside, I was very hurt by my family.
Mm-hmm. Was it just one member of your family or several members of your family?
Several family members,
right.
Yes.
So when that problem happened, what did you do? Did you just cut yourself off from everybody? You stopped speaking to them? Or they stopped speaking to you? Or it was a mutual thing? What happened?
Worry is when I asked for the help and they didn't want to help me, I stopped talking to the family. I didn't contact them. I completely cut off with them. And my family as well. They didn't want to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just moved on.
How long did you spend without talking to your family?
Honestly, it's been about 3 years. I stopped talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
3 years. I mean, during that time you didn't call?
I didn't call them. I didn't contact them. I didn't see them. Yes.
Didn't you wonder, how are my family? Is everything okay with them? Do they need my help? Did you miss them?
Yes, I missed my family. And I used to, back of my head, I used to think, how is my mom, how's my family doing? But there was so much, hatred inside.
Did you hate them?
Yes, for what they have done to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you hate them. How is the life, how is the daily life of a person who hates their family? How was your day-to-day life?
You feel there's emptiness, you're not happy with yourself, and you don't see life as it's supposed to be. It's not normal to be like that.
Were you happy?
No, I wasn't happy.
Do you think someone who hates another person can be happy?
No, they can't be happy at all, no.
Mm-hmm. So why weren't you happy? Because, for example, couldn't you just put this hatred to the back of your mind, to one side, and carry on with your life? You couldn't do that?
No, I couldn't do it because there was so much happened that time. Due to so many family issues. Everybody had issue with each other and all that. And I said, no, I just cut off. I cut off.
During
completely.
Those 3 years, did you happen to see your family in the street during those 3 years?
Yes.
What would happen when you would see them?
I would just ignore them, and they would stop and say to me, hello, Daljit. And I would just turn my face, that I didn't even know them. That's how it was.
So they would come to speak to you.
Yes.
But so you were very proud, very arrogant. Because they came to speak to you and you would ignore them, you would leave.
Yeah, we can say that, because I was very upset with them. That was the reason. And I said, I don't need them now. And I don't need to talk to any of them.
I want to pick up on that point you said, I don't need them. Because the truth is, we always need our family, right? Our family is very important. You cannot you cannot say I can live my life on my own. And maybe deep down, maybe you say you don't need your family, but deep down you do. Actually, it's one of the most wonderful things to enjoy time with your family. It's amazing. Maybe you haven't been doing that because you have this abyss between you and the people you love because of this grudge. But you, deep down, you want to be with them. You want to hug them. You want to kiss them. You want to spend time with them. But this grudge, this hatred, and this pride and arrogance is stopping you to do so. Deep down, did you want to know how your family was? Did you want to see if they were okay? Did you want to hug them?
Yes, I did. And when there was like those 3 years, Mother's Day, and I used to call my mom and wish her happy Mother's Day. And those 3 years when I didn't call her, and myself, I used to be upset. I did cry, and I spoke to my daughter. I wonder how my mom is. I hope she's okay. And that's it. That's how it was. And my daughter said, "Don't worry about them, Mom. They're okay." Like they were upset as well that what happened.
In other words, no one was happy.
No,
right?
nobody
You weren't
was
happy, they weren't happy.
No, they weren't. They weren't happy.
So, what about you, Nita?
Yes.
Nita, what's your story?
I had an issue with my brother. We didn't speak for about 2 years. What had happened, he'd given me a valuable gift. He gave me a present, and he asked me not to give it to anybody. But I had family pressures, and there was a certain member of my family that had kind of put pressure on me to give it to somebody else, even though I didn't want to really part with the gift. I did part with the gift, and he found out, and he stopped speaking to me.
Right. Did you attempt to make peace with him?
I used to try to phone him, I tried to text him, and he wouldn't take my calls, he wouldn't reply to any of my texts, and he wouldn't, because he lives with his wife, with my parents in the same house. If I'd go to visit, he would, if I walk in a room and he was there, he'd walk out of the room. He would not speak to me.
That must have been uncomfortable.
It was very hard, but I used to think to myself, well, I can come here, this is my parents' house, I have rights to be here. But it was very uncomfortable. And
did you start to harbor grudges against him as well?
Yes, I did. I suppose I justified my actions. I would say to myself, well, if he's given me a gift, that is for me to do what I want to do with. And so I would justify why I'd passed the gift on, and I would always justify my actions and the way I was feeling, and I always used to think I was right.
How was your life in general? Apart from that, how was your life?
My life was, I had a lot of depression, I had a lot of anxiety, I had financial problems, and one of the biggest issues that I was facing was I really wanted to have another child, and I wasn't able to.
How long did you try?
I tried for about 5 years or more, and I had been to many doctors.
I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
Sorry to change the subject, but Victoria was saying earlier that people who keep grudges and who hate people, they start suffering. Did you say depression, Victoria?
It has been linked to depression. Yeah, I'm just reading it here. I've got heart attacks, heart disease, high blood pressure, stomach ulcers, arthritis, back problems, headache, and chronic pain. And it will be linked to depression.
I saw in the video we showed earlier that it was linked to depression. So, I mean, you were telling me before we started the program that you suffered with depression as well. Was that prior to having this problem with your brother? Was that afterwards?
Well, I've had depression on and off, but obviously when this issue happened with my brother, it did make me feel worse because I couldn't sleep at night. Because there was that animosity between us, and I found it difficult to sleep.
So you found it difficult to sleep?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. How difficult was it for you to sleep?
It was like I would wake up in the night a few times, and it would be constantly, this issue would be on my mind. Even though I would carry on with my day-to-day, what I was doing, my duties, it would still come. It would be at the back of my mind that I didn't have that relationship with my brother that should be there. And I used to just feel really like something was eating away inside me, and I just wanted, I didn't have peace. I had no peace at all.
Right. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Daljit, that when you, I mean, in those 2 years, did you said you saw him sometimes in your parents' house.
Yes.
When you would see him, I mean, would you get even more angry? How would you feel?
I used to I used to feel more angry, and I used to think, oh well, why should I make the first move? Why should I speak to him? Let him speak to me. So.
But why? Did you think if you would make the first move, you were weak? What would you think?
I just kept thinking that I just kept telling myself that he was in the wrong, and I suppose yes, I was holding on forgiveness to him as well. I was holding. a grudge against.
So you thought he was in the wrong, so he had to forgive. He had to come to you to make the first step. Okay, that's a classic mistake, right? Because, I mean, why does it matter who makes the first move? What matters is that you get rid of the problem, that you make peace, right? Look at the silly and stupid example I gave you about my own life before I met God, before I came to church. I lived in the same building, seeing someone every single day for about 10 years, and my parents didn't talk to these other people who were my relatives. How I mean, you can't get much sillier than that. You live in the same building, for God's sake. You could go there and say, look, I'm sorry if I hurt you, let's put everything behind you, the business didn't work. And yet, because of arrogance and pride, the problem dragged on for so many years. And maybe you say this to yourself. You say, well, but I'm not the one to blame here. It's not my fault. The person has to come to me. And actually, when there's a grudge, when there's a hatred between two people, it's never anybody's fault, right? It's always the other person. But someone has to be the bigger man. You know, what's important is like two countries. When two countries are at war, someone is going to have to make a gesture of goodwill to show to others that they're willing to negotiate, to put things behind them. And families like this. And listen, families sometimes get things wrong. You say things you don't mean. Actually, that's one of the classical problems. If people would only think about what they say before they actually say it, a lot of family problems would be avoided, right? But anyway, you end up saying things you don't want to say, and then you regret. You want to, you did something out of character, the other person got offended, someone gave you a gift, told you not to give the gift to someone else, right?
Yes.
Nita? But you gave the gift to the other person, then the person got offended. Whatever reason it may be, you know, it's better that you spend half an hour of going there and humbling yourself, even if it wasn't your fault, and you make peace, and you have peace, then you're holding on to that. And a lot of people say, well, but if I do that, then the person's going to think that they won the battle. Who cares who won? Nobody wins. When there's hatred, there's no one who's winning the battle. Everybody's losing. So the important thing is for you to make a step, that first step, if you can. When we come back, we're going to hear how Daljit, am I saying your name correctly? Daljit and Nita, how they came to church for a one-to-one session, advice with the pastor, and everything started to change from there, bit by bit. Was it easier for you to forgive?
No, it wasn't, Pastor.
I hope you have forgiven.
I have forgiven
Good.
them.
Have you forgiven as well?
Yes.
Everything at peace?
Everything's at
Was
peace.
it easy for you to let that go?
It was very hard.
But don't tell us yet. You're going to tell us after the break. Okay? So don't go anywhere. When you come back, we're going to hear also from the streets of London what people have to say about keeping grudges, hatred. You'll hear what they have to say. We'll be right back.
At Christian Books Plus, we offer a range of Christian books, Bibles, gifts, DVDs, and so much more. Our aim is to provide you with inspirational reads and beautifully packaged gifts that will enhance and strengthen your walk with God. Our headquarters is situated in Finsbury Park, North London, and we have a few other stores located across London and around the UK. However, if you prefer, you can shop from the comfort of your own home. On our newly revamped website, you can find the full range of products that we sell, from children's stories to Christian music. Purchasing from us is simple and easy. Select what you'd like, add it to your basket, fill out your details and proceed to the payment section, where you'll be able to make your purchase securely and have all the items delivered right to your door. Also on our website, you can find where the closest Christian Books Plus is located to you. We strive to provide the best service at all times with staff that are warm, friendly and always ready to help. For more information, call 020 7686 6000 or visit our website christianbooksplus.com. Christian Books Plus. Hope to see you soon.
You know, I was just chatting here to Victoria during the break, and it's so interesting because you linked all these sicknesses to grudges and hatred. Yeah, I think you mentioned about 10, I don't know. Mm-hmm. And look, that even your health gets better when you forgive.
Yeah, it's so true. So it's very psychosomatic, which means your psychology can totally affect your physical well-being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, I was thinking earlier, it's like having a shower. You know, when you have a shower, you worked really hard during the day, you sweated, then you have a shower, you feel light, you feel so reinvigorated. And forgiving is like this. It's like you feel light. This load, this weight has left your shoulders and you feel so good, and it's like you want to hug everybody. Have you ever felt like that? Have you ever felt like you want to hug the whole world? I have felt like this, and it's the most amazing thing. I have Pastor Roland there sitting behind the camera. Have you ever felt like this, Pastor Roland?
Yes.
Like hugging everybody, like going out to hug everybody.
I have felt exactly.
Pastor Roland's going to be here in a few minutes. It's amazing. I tell you, if you've never had this feeling, it's amazing. And you know when you get this? When you forgive. Because it's really tough to forgive. It's hard. But once you do it, it's like you can take on the world. Few things are more empowering than forgiving someone. It's amazing. Actually, take Nelson Mandela, right? I remember Nelson Mandela, I watched a movie about his story, I think in Victus. And when he came into office, to the first day, as he walked into the office, all the white people were packing their things in the desks. And he was saying, "What are you doing?" And they said, "No, now we're packing our things because we don't have a job here anymore. We're white. We oppressed you all these years." He said, "No, I want you there. I want you there." So he made it a point to show that he forgave. That's why he was the man that he was, right? Let's watch what the people of London have to say about forgiveness. We'll be right back.
You know, there's no stereotype anymore.
Protect yourself, sometimes you probably do.
It will heal, but it will always...
They're humans, they have the ability to use their initiative.
Find it difficult to just be happy in this life.
Hi, I'm Victoria Edgecombe, and tonight on Finding Answers, we're talking about holding a grudge. So I've been out and asked the general public, do you think that you should let go of a grudge? And how easy is it to let go of that grudge?
Depends on what the person actually did, like, you know. But I don't personally hold grudges that badly.
People should definitely let go of grudges, and they need to just talk it out and with whoever the grudge is with or against, and they'll figure it out and let go of it.
I think it's better for people to let go of a grudge. It's better for their own health and well-being, and it's better for families, because often grudges are families. And it's very difficult to let hold of a grudge. So you have to work really hard at it, but it's worth it at the end of the day.
Welcome back. Now, before the break, you heard from Daljit, who said that for 3 years she didn't speak to her mom. Now, Daljit, when you came to the church, why did you feel there was a need for you to forgive your mom?
This life doesn't go on like this, Pastor. I did then, when I came to the church, I learned from Pastor. I spoke to him, and he said that we have to forgive. If you don't forgive, you can't get on with your life. So from there, slowly, it took time.
How long did it take for you to forgive
her? It took me 3 years.
3 years?
3 years.
My
in
gosh.
that time, when I came to the church and...
But it took you 3 years in the church to forgive her?
Yes, all my
gosh.
family, yes.
If you had done that the first few weeks you came to the church, you would have had 3 years of happiness with your family.
That's very true.
But when you managed to forgive them, how was it? I mean, how did you feel? How is your relationship with your family now?
It's very good.
Do you talk to your mom?
I talk to my mom. I help my mom out. We go shopping, and all the family get together. It's really good now, Pastor.
So you let go of all the things of the past?
Everything. I let
Who
go.
made the first move?
I did.
You did?
I said to myself, I can't go on with my life like this. I have to change myself first. So coming to the church, I learned so much, how to forgive, let go of everything. And that's how I received peace in myself. Without, humbling yourself, forgiving somebody, you can't get on with life like that.
That's great. Your story is amazing. And what about you, Nita? What did you do to forgive your brother? Who made the first move?
Well, I decided to write him a letter, because I texted him and I phoned him, and then I decided to write him a letter, and he didn't respond to my letter, and so I was really upset because I was trying so hard. But then when I was coming to the church and I was hearing from the advice I was given and listening to the messages in the church, I decided to make the first move, as in I thought, well, let me do something nice for him, because I thought I need to do some kind of act of kindness to him to break the ice a little bit. So my brother loves chocolate cake, so I went and made him a chocolate cake on his birthday. And it was something so simple, but yet it broke the ice between us, and it started from that act of kindness and doing other things for him.
And I imagine that you didn't build that relationship back in a day, right? You had to work on it. But how is your relationship with him today?
The relationship is even better than what it was before we had the disagreement. And in fact, we talk so much now, and sometimes I have to tell him to be quiet, because he just keeps talking and talking, because we just love to be around each other. And he's been very helpful. He's always there when I need him. I could pick up the phone and call him or text him, and he will help me whatever I have need with. He'll always help me. So.
You said you had depression before.
Yes.
Are you still depressed?
No.
You said you were trying to have a baby.
Yes.
What happened?
Well,
I was hoping you would tell me what happened.
Yeah, well, I'd been to many doctors, and they just said to me it was because of my age, and I started to believe that. But when I came to the church, with the messages, with the advice, and learning about faith, I had received the advice, and I acted upon the things that to have more faith. And it was it was a year after I'd been in the church that I conceived. And I remember the pastor said, be specific what you want, and I really wanted a little girl because I have a little boy. And I said that I wanted a daughter, and I have a 2-year-old. She's 2.5 now.
That's
a
great.
girl called Leah. So.
Now, final question: how much better is life when you don't hate, when you don't have grudges for anyone?
it's wonderful. I think the biggest thing for me is having peace, and being able to go to bed at night and knowing that I don't have problems with my brother. We have peace between us, and that's just, when you don't have peace, you just cannot. You cannot go on, like Daljit was saying. You can't go on. It just holds you, and you feel empty inside.
And a lot of people, they try to make up that that lack of peace because of the problems they have with their families or people that they love, with buying a new car, buying a new house, and going abroad and traveling and so on. But you can go to the most remote mountain on planet Earth. That lack of peace will still be there. It's not going to make it go away. Nothing, because you need to solve that problem first. After you solve that problem, you can live anywhere in the world and you will have peace. So don't be too big for your own boots, thinking that you don't have to be the first one making the move. You see, Nita, what you did with the chocolate cake, actually that's biblical. The Bible says that a gift opens the ways for those who are giving and brings them before princes. So your gift opens ways, right? Perhaps what you need is to go to that person that you don't talk to anymore and say, listen, here's something I got you. I was thinking about you this whole time and I want to apologize. And it's not for you to say, I forgive you for what you have done. Because when you say, I forgive you for what you have done, automatically you're putting the blame on the person. Say, look, I forgive me for being so remorseful, not remorseful is not the word, but full of grudges and hateful that I didn't let this go. I want to change. I want to start a new relationship with you, and that can change everything, right? So it all starts with that first step, and you can take that step, and you will benefit from this the most. Like Victoria said at the beginning, the one who keeps the grudge is the one who suffers with it the most, because you replay that in your mind all the time. Okay, we're going to go into a short break. When I come back, I'll have Pastor Roland here with me, and he will be answering the love answer. This is a feature we have every program from now on for the next few weeks. We'll have a feature called Love Answer. If you have a question on love, on relationships, email the program, answers@findinganswers.tv. Send us a tweet. Is that how you say it, Victoria? Send us a tweet?
That's exactly right.
Send us a tweet. I'm getting there with the Twitter thing. Send us a tweet, send us a Facebook message, or give us a call, and we'll be able to answer your questions on love here from now. And this is in preparation for Love School. Get ready, because 28th of September, we'll have the Love School at the Wembley Arena. Were you there last year?
Yes, I was.
Were you there last year?
I was.
Great. Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
You're going to be then again this year?
We are.
Great. So let's go to the break. We'll be right back. If God can hold all the waters of the ocean in the palm of His hands, imagine the problem of the person.
You can't say that your problem is bigger than these waters, than the ocean.
No matter how big a building is, a monument is, from where we're standing, it looks tiny.
What God wants to do is to raise you up. As you can see, the sun is setting behind us. And maybe in the same way, your life is going down. Maybe in the same way, happiness is going down.
Even if the sun goes down now, tomorrow, it's guaranteed that whether you see the clouds or something's blocking the sun, but the sun will be there.
It seems that people who are married and having problems, they only see two options. Either we're going to live in this miserable marriage for the rest of our lives, or we'll separate. So they only see two options. Hey, there's a third. option? How about you focusing on solving the problems?
Welcome back. I have Pastor Roland here with me. Good evening, Pastor Roland.
Good evening, Pastor James. Good evening.
So every evening now we're going to have this feature called Love Answer. Love Answer, Love Answers. We need to work on the name, right? Maybe it should be Love Question, and we will give the love answer.
Good.
Right?
That would work better.
But anyway, we'll work on that. Let's see now what someone asked us about this matter of love. If you have any question to do with love, make sure you send us an email, help@findinganswers.tv. Tweet, Facebook, doesn't matter. Get in contact with us. Here's what the person asked us.
This has to be one of the most asked questions in the history of the world, but I don't know what to do. I've been with my boyfriend for 4 years. Boyfriend isn't really the right word. It's closer to partner/husband. The only reason we aren't married is that I don't believe in marriage. I'm 28 years old. We've been living together and maintaining a long-term relationship. So this is not a guy that's going away, in other words. The problem is that my family despises him. This hurts because my family and I are insanely close. My sister is my best friend. My mum and I used to tell each other everything. I went into the same field as my dad and am the apple of his eye. They're all still very involved in my life, except for when it comes to my boyfriend. Then they basically will not even acknowledge him. They don't want to know anything about his life, what I'm doing when I'm with him, what he gave me for my birthday, etc. They don't ever ask about him. They shut down if I mention him. My mother maintains that if a wedding occurs, it will be the biggest mistake of my life and they will not attend. She claims that as my mother, she knows me better than I know myself. She's convinced that I'm only with him because I'm afraid to be myself. He could jump in front of a bullet for me and her opinion of him would not change. So, what do I do?
Well, as you could see in this question from Amber, she's concerned about what to do. Let me answer this question for you, Amber. If you question me what you should do, I think you should do something. I don't want to be another person to just give you another opinion. I heard what you are asking me, but what I see is that you are concerned with what your family are thinking, what they are asking, what they are thinking about your relationship. But I don't see here anything that you spoke as your opinion about it. When you said that you did not get married yet because you don't believe in marriage, that I think is already a problem. That I think is already something that you must work in. Because to say that you don't believe, but you're already 4 years with this person, your family is not, they're not seeing if you are really serious on your decision. Because family that loves James, they support. They support her decision. Perhaps they are seeing something that she is not seeing on this relationship.
Yeah, because for example, you said that none of your family like him. That's very unusual. Sometimes one person may not like him, 2 people may not like him, but everybody not liking him. Like Pastor Roland said, now there may be the case that perhaps they are seeing something that you're not seeing because maybe you're so infatuated with him that you can't see the wood for the trees, as they say. And I'll give you an example. When I got married, my father-in-law hated me. But he didn't hate me because I was a bad person or had a bad character. He hated me because I was taking his daughter away from him, right? But he was the only one. Today he loves me. But But he was the only one. It was an exception. I think you need to really look at that. But like you said as well, Roland, you need to make up your own mind. It's your decision, it's your relationship, but you need to weigh the two things as
because
well.
when you make your mind, when you take the decision upon what you want indeed, family, once they love, they support. As you said, now your father-in-law loves you. And that is the case. Perhaps they are seeing actually you undecided. And that's the reason why you should learn about love. And the great opportunity is on the way.
Absolutely. We're going to be talking more about the Love School over the next few days. Now, I want to tell you a very important tip on forgiving someone. When you saw the video there at the beginning of the program, there was a video that said, you cannot change your past, but you have to accept that it has happened, and you have to let go of it. When we say accept, it's not for you to accept that it was okay what the person did to you. You know, sometimes people hurt us, and we have to be very honest, we have to be fair, because you don't know how much you have hurt other people. How many times we hurt people without even know that we are hurting them? It has happened to me quite a few times that people have come to me and said, listen, you said something, you said this and that, and you really hurt me. And I didn't even realize. And I had to be humble to go there and say, listen, if I hurt you, please forgive me. So sometimes we're very quick to say, this person hurt me, that person hurt me. And we forget about what we may have done that has hurt others. And if you hold on to this, that list of sicknesses you heard Victoria reading in the beginning, you're the one who's going to be struggling and suffering with it. Maybe you say, James, are you cursing my life? Are you cursing me? Are you plaguing me? No. These are facts. These are facts that you can't get away from. So it's not even a matter of faith to forgive someone. It's a matter of intelligence. It's like looking after your health. Exercising and eating the right foods is a matter of intelligence. The more you do that, the longer you live. You may not believe in God, or you may believe, it doesn't matter. So think of one positive. Give me one positive for you not to make peace with that person you hate. Show me one positive. Go ahead, Pastor Roland. One positive of not forgiving someone that you hate. There isn't.
There isn't.
Now, show me one positive of forgiving that person. We can give them hundreds, right?
Holding grudges would be doing not good, not planting good, not sowing good. And actually, the Bible states that your deeds will return upon your own head. If I want good returning to me, I must do good. And let go of the past.
Listen, if you forgive, you get healthier, you get happier, you are close to your family, you see your family growing, your life gets 1,000,000 times better. So maybe you say, James, I want to forgive. I just don't know I just don't have the strength. God can give you the strength. He taught us to pray for our enemies. Do you know why? Because He knows that when you pray for your enemies, you can be forgiven and these grudges can go. And it's not for you to pray for your enemies to die. When He said, pray for your enemies, it's not, my God, strike my enemies with lightning. That's not what He said. It's for you to pray, my Lord, have mercy on them. Have mercy on me also. And let this grudge go away. We're going to consecrate the water now through the prayer. And when we drink of this water, pray that it will be like something that will wash away these feelings and you can start afresh from tonight. Let's talk to God now.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer and include you in the Finding Answers prayer book, send your name and prayer request to prayer@findinganswers.tv.
My Lord and my Father, in the name of the Lord Jesus, we have in you an example that is perfect. Because while a multitude was crucifying you, cursing you, you said, Father, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. And if you forgave, who am I to hold on to a grudge? Actually, you said, Father, forgive them. Because you had already forgiven them. You were asking the Father to forgive them. So my Lord, perhaps this person has understood now through this program that it makes sense to forgive, that it's important to let go of the hate, of the grudges. It's just that they haven't been able to do it. They can't let go. They can't let this thing that is eating them up inside, this cancer, to let go, this emotional cancer to let go. But I pray, my God, in the name of the Lord Jesus, that just like water can be used to wash away the dirt, to wash away the impurities, let this water be used, my God, as a symbol of the washing of the most deepest part of this person's mind and heart, of where that grudge, that hatred was living. And when this program is over, let this person receive the strength to make that first step, to bring forth that gift as a way to open doors with that person. In the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, consecrate this water, and when this person drinks of it, let them be free right now. Drink this water there where you are. Be free from that grudge. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you here with us. I want to tell you, as usual, every Wednesday we're going to have a special program from now on. This Wednesday, prepare yourself, because you will hear the story of a man who spent thousands on gambling. He went broke. He had a tremendously good job, but went broke because of gambling. If you know someone who struggles with an addiction, get them to watch this Wednesday at 11 o'clock. But we'll be here with you tomorrow as well. Until then, have a wonderful night. May God bless you.